Hello Stampers, come on in. Welcome to my channel. My name is Lori Staley, Addicted Stamper with Stampin Up, and I am back with another Make It Monday. If you are returning, thank you so much for coming back, and if you're brand new to my channel, welcome. I'm thrilled that you've stopped by. Hope you enjoy the project this morning, and I'm excited that we're going to have a few minutes to stamp together today. I have a really fun fold for you this morning. Actually, it's a ramped up version of a card that I've seen a lot on the internet lately. And so I'm anxious to share that with you along with a really fun set that I'm going to be using. But just a quick reminder, celebration is still going on. We have until September 30th to get all the goodness out of this little book that is filled with stamps and paper and dies. And as far as I know, everything is still available. I don't think anything is sold out yet. So make sure you take advantage of this. And if you've got a huge wish list, or my handle could apply to you, Addicted Stamper, remember there is that starter kit special right now. Whether you want to have a little business on the side, whether you want to make it a full-time job, or whether you just want to get a discount on your toys, it is a great deal. $125 for $99 plus tax. Stampin' Up! Even picks up the shipping. And then you also get to pick a free bundle from the current August through December mini catalog. So all those Christmas bundles, fall bundles, etc. would be available to you as to pick one from for free. So it's a great deal. If you have questions, I'd love to help you. If you don't have a demonstrator that you're working with, you need catalogs, you have questions about that deal, please reach out to me. I'm always happy to help. I also want to remind you that when you put a minimum $25 product order in on my website, which is right here, addictedstamper.stampinup.net, and here's the September host code, you will earn my Just Card Kit. And the cards this month look like this. So we have some pretty butterfly and some of the hand pen paper, a little Christmas card, a masculine birthday card. How about that cute one? I played with All Squared Away on one of my Facebook Lives recently, and I just fell in love with that set. And black and red, I mean, who doesn't like that? And then this really pretty Blackberry Beauty designer paper for fall. So all of these, as you can tell, really only require greeting stamps. Everything else is either embossed, designer paper, or die cuts, which are all done for you in the kits. So again, that is a minimum $25 product order on my website, and using this hostess code through the end of September, and then those become yours at the after the end of the month. I do all the cutting. So keep that in mind. Okay, so let me show you this cute card. And I actually did the scaled down version in my live last night on my Facebook page. So when I was looking at it and I was playing with it, I'm like, oh, I wonder if we could double it up. So this is an accordion Z fold card, and the versions online don't have this portion, right? So this isn't here. Can I bend it out of the way? It just kind of looks, and it's adorable like this too, and you'll have to check that one out over on my Facebook page. I'd show it to you, but I don't think I have it laying here. Little squirrel. I love the Nuts About Squirrels stamp set. I think it's so cute. Beauty of the Earth Designer Series paper, timber, embossing folder, and then it stands up like that. So very cute. But as I was playing with it, I went, oh, let's see if we can stamp or ramp this project up a little bit. So I did a double accordion Z fold card for you. So the first one, again, squirrel, cute. Hey there, this is all out of the Nuts About Squirrel stamp set, and then inside is your greeting. Hope you're feeling bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. So this is a statement card, I think, because when it sits up like that, so it takes a little bit of space, and yes, it does require extra postage. I did weigh it, it's 1.3 ounces in the envelope, but it does actually fit in a standard medium envelope from Stampin' Up, or wherever you get your envelopes. But I just thought that was so cute. And it just increased the cuteness when I decided to add that second panel on there. So this is what I want to show you today. And it's really a quick, easy card. we're going to do some scoring first. And as I said, I've used the Nuts About Squirrels stamp set that is in the current mini catalog. My colors that I'm using are Cinnamon Cider, Cherry Cobbler, Pumpkin Pie, Bumblebee, and Early Espresso. And for the little squirrel, his body that we fill, that is off-stamped Early Espresso. So, and then I just added that cute little, I've loved these since they came out in the catalog, mini catalog, the brushed metallic adhesive back dots. I'm really hoping they carry those over because I just think they are so cool. They're great for masculine cards. They're great as an accent on a fall card. So you definitely want to check those out. Now, all the measurements, all the score lines, everything that I'm going to show you today is going to be in the description below this video. So make sure you check that out if you want to make it. And leave me a comment if you are thinking about making it. I love to know that you get a little bit of creativity when you watch these videos. So I would love to know if you're planning on making this card. Okay, so we have 5.5 by 11 piece of cardstock, and we are going to score that at 1 3/4. Make sure you have the score blade, not the cutting blade, right? 3.5. And then you could flip it around if you don't have a cutter or trimmer or scoring platform that goes wide. But then we're going to go to 5 1/4. And 7. And we are going to do that twice. So that's one panel. We're going to come in, we're going to do the exact same thing. 1 3/4. 3.5. 5 1/4. And 7. All right, and then I have one more piece that I need, or actually 2 more pieces since we're doubling this. And this is just a 6 by 3 piece scored at 3 inches. So I did actually already do that scoring ahead of time, so we don't need to worry about that. I'm going to grab my bone folder so that we can crease everything and make it nice and sharp. So we're going to work on the left panel first, this side, okay? And I'm folding on all those score lines. And then we're going to start with all of them, but we're going to come back and we're going to go down through these, right? And you know that I like to, if you've watched me before, I like to score both ways on my card. Why is that? Because I think it helps to break the fibers down a little bit more, and I think it helps to give you a flatter lay. All right, so, but we want this one to actually fold up like that. That's making a liar out of me now, isn't it? Doesn't really want to lay flat, but that's okay. When we put the Z fold on it, it will help bring it back down. So there we have that side. Now we're going to do the opposite, right? So in this case, we're coming like this. And so now we have it on the right side. So it's just the reverse of everything we did on the left side. This is definitely a wow card that your friends will be amazed when they see it. How did you do that, right? At least that was the reaction I got around here. All right, so now we're going to get this folded because this one's going to come in this way. So we want to make sure that we have our fold this way. Okay, we're going to use, as I mentioned earlier, the Timber embossing folder. You'll find this in the mini catalog. It's relatively new, and we're just going to do the front panel on each side. So just this little section right here, I'm going to line that up. And if you go over a little bit, it is not a big deal. But I'm going to line that up and roll it through my die cutting machine. That sits to my left. It's a little bit easier than trying to bring it into camera. I have a little stand that sits beside me. But if you're using a 3D embossing folder in the die cut and emboss machine, then you are just using the base platform and the specialty plate. And then we have the first one done. I know that's hard to see on camera, but it's really very cool. And then we'll do the second one. And that's all the embossing or die cutting that we do on this project. So I will give you a little tip. When you line this up, don't think you can line the score edge up with the edge of the folder. The design doesn't start maybe 1/8 of an inch in. So you definitely want to line it up with the design. Otherwise, you're going to have a gap on the front of your panel that isn't embossed. So you'll have some embossing, but then before the fold, there'll be a gap. Does that make sense? Okay, we're going to roll this one through. All right, so we have both panels done. Now it's really just a matter of putting it together and stamping. So it's not hard. Once you have it cut and scored, it's very, very quick to put together. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to put our Beauty of the Earth, this is the wood tone or the wood grain, if you will, in here. Grab my seal. And it does go in your first 2 sections, okay? So you have a third section that's going to be empty, not have any designer paper on it. You want to try to line up your bottom and top edges so that they're equal and even. And grab, oops. This is going to be our piece for inside. So I'm going to lay that over here. We'll stamp on that in a minute, but I'm going to go ahead and bring this piece in and mount those same layers. Okay, and again, it's right next to the panel that you embossed. I'm going to keep going. I'm sorry, I got a call and I don't know if it broke up the video. So I'm going to keep going. Hopefully it did not. Okay, so we have that piece. We're good there. Now let's bring in our Z-fold portion. And again, we're just doing a lot of layering right now. So you've got Whisper White, 2 7/8 squares. And then the Beauty of the Earth. I love this pattern because I think it's so fall oriented, right? I love that. Fall is my favorite time of the year. It could be fall all year round, other than crazy storms that we've had here in Pennsylvania. I'm outside of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. It's a small town called Dillsburg. But if you've ever traveled through Pennsylvania on 15, on 15, you've probably, Route 15, you've probably driven right through Dillsburg. Well, actually you have, because 15 runs right through Dillsburg. But anyway, we've had some crazy storms, not like many of our friends up north and down south, but the weather's been so nice. The humidity has broken from the summer, and I had a class here the other night and everybody was saying, it could be like this all year round. I'm like, I don't disagree with you. All right, so that is all we're going to do for the Z fold. And now we're going to go ahead and get this mounted. So you are actually bringing it around the accordion. And we're not going to take it the whole way over to the edge. We're going to bring it about there, I think. Kind of trying to eyeball so that we have the same amount of space on this side as we do on this side. Okay, this I'm going to use Seal Plus for because it's a little stronger and we definitely want this to stay in place. I imagine the recipient, just like last week's card, is probably going to be opening and closing quite a lot when they get this card. So, and you know, kind of make sure you're straight, even, parallel to the top and the bottom. And then we're going to open this up. And so there is the base, right, of the first one. This is the style that I demonstrated last night on my Facebook Live. And today is September 13th. So if you're watching it other than on the Monday, it would not be last night. All right, let's grab our squirrel and make something happen here with him. So we're going to start with the outline. This is a two-step stamp. You, of course, can use your blends or other coloring mechanisms or vehicles to add color to the little guy. But the two-step is so fun. So as I mentioned earlier, and you know what, I'm going to grab a silicone pad because this is a a foam pad. This is a photopolymer stamp set. And we want to make sure that we get a good impression. I'm going to off stamp that, as I mentioned earlier. And then I'm going to bring this in and line it up. So my trick for lining up is if you get this lined up in 3 spots, okay, you are probably going to be pretty good. So keep that in mind. So I looked at his head, his little foot, and then this little bit of his tail to make sure that I had what I thought was going to be good alignment. And I think that's pretty good. What do you all think? All right, and then we're going to bring in the other fills, right? So we've got this cap for the acorn that's going to go down in full strength early espresso. And we have the body of the acorn, which I'm going to do in cinnamon cider. Now, first time I used the body of the acorn fill stamp, or two-step, I had a hard time figuring it out. And I'm sure you cannot see this on camera. There's this little mark here, which I thought was like a highlight mark. It's actually his little hand. So, because his hand comes down on the acorn, right? So if you get that lined up and then there's just a tiny bit of the point, right, then you probably are going to be okay. So that's my tip for lining up the acorn. And that looks pretty good too. We'll take that. All right, so I am going to pop him up on that front panel with dimensionals. I had lots of helpers in my studio the last few days, and some things have been moved around on me. But we're just going to put 4 on here just so it stays in place going through the postage machines, right? And as I said, this does require, it's 1.3 ounces if you make it similar to what I'm making it. So it would require an extra stamp, but it does, in fact, fit into a regular medium envelope. Oh, so cute. Okay, let's grab our insert piece. Where did it go? Let's see, is this the one? Yeah, I have to trim this down just a little bit. And I'm using white because the background, the designer series paper, has white in it. Typically for fall, I tend to gravitate towards very vanilla. And I'm not a very vanilla girl any other time of the year, so that's kind of funny. But, yeah, we're good. Just a little bit I had to take off. We're going to go ahead and stamp this with our inside greeting. And I'm going to do that in Early Espresso as well. You could use Cinnamon Cider or any of the colors, really. But we'll just do that in Early Espresso. Keep my foam pad handy so that I'm sure with the photopolymer stamps, I'm going to get a good impression. And I'm going to flip it over because you know what I did? I put that high, and I actually want that to be low so that it's hidden by the flat. So we're going to put that in there just a little bit lower. That looks good. We're going to go ahead and mount that too. Well, you saw me trim that. Let's take a little bit off. There we go. That was weird. All right, so you could stop there. That could be your card. But as I said, I wanted to step it up a notch, so we're just going to do the same thing now in the opposite. Okay, so we want it to be like this. Well, let me open it up so you can see. So we're going to bring our piece in. Get that flipped around. Bring our piece in from the left this time. Okay. Now what I am going to do is I'm going to line it up so I am sure that you don't see this piece behind him, right? So on this card, you didn't know that second layer for greeting was there until you actually opened it. And the easiest way I found to do that is to take a pencil, and I have mechanical pencils in my studio because they just come in really handy. And the other thing you want is the white art eraser. This pencil actually has one on it. But I'm just drawing myself a little line here to make sure that I'm going to get this lined up when I put it on. Back to our seal. Ooh, careful. I always tell you, be real careful when using the Seal Plus because it likes to tear the cardstock. And then I'm going to put this in those pencil marks. Okay. And let's make sure before we go too crazy that it lines up. And it does. So then I can press that down and I can put the Seal Plus on the other side. And again, you could use Tombow liquid glue, you could use tear and tape, whatever you have that's going to be, you know, your strong adhesive. Okay, I have another circle here, and we're going to bring in the branch and the leaves and the Hey You. We're going to use Early Espresso for our branch. And I'm going to be brave since this is just more of a line image and I'm not going to worry about, and I just made sure that the end was going right off the edge of the circle. We're going to find the full color or the full body stamp, and we're going to do one in Cherry Cobbler, one in Pumpkin Pie, and one in Bumblebee. And I don't remember the order I did them in the last time, so we're going to go different this time. Perhaps. Maybe not. Maybe my brain works the same no matter which time I'm doing it. And I am cleaning. My cleaning pad sits off here a little bit. I'm cleaning these as I do them. before I put my hand in any of the ink pads, let's close those babies up. Bring back in, there's a leaf detail stamp in the set, so we're just going to bring that back in and add our veins into our leaves. Okay, and then we're going to put the Hey You at the top. Or Hey There, sorry, Hey There. And no, I did him flat because he's on the inside and we don't need any more depth, right? Our depth is good. So we're going to do a Hey There on the inside. And then, now this is where you could, if you so chose, you could cut some of the weight off of this. You could trim this down. I'd leave at least a ½ inch, if not an inch. But you could cut this down so that when you are overlapping it here in the back, it's not the full width of the back, right? I didn't do that. I didn't necessarily want to see that line going down the back. So I left it the full width. It does line up perfectly, as you can see. So it looks like it's just one backing. But if you wanted to reduce the weight a little bit, then you could absolutely trim this down and just have an edge right here on the back of your card. But for me, and I'm using the Seal Plus again, and it is just chewing up my paper today. Look at that. Okay, I've got a little bit of it on there. I'm going back to my seal. We'll just put a little extra on. All right, and then we're just going to marry these two together. And I do a little burnishing with my bone folder just to make sure that that adhesive is connecting all over. And then our last step, of course, is to put that really pretty brushed metallic gem on. This is in brushed silver, copper, and gold. And like I said, I really, really love them. And I mean, you could go with, I think copper or gold works fine. This one, I think I have gold on. Let's put copper on this one. What do you say? And of course, you know I love my Take Your Pick tool for picking up my gems. So there you go, folks. There is a double accordion Z-fold. I have not seen that anywhere else, but I think it is adorable. And it is definitely a statement card. You could make this a birthday card. You could make this a thing. It is kind of a thinking of you card. It's a hope you're feeling bright-eyed and bushy-tailed greeting on the inside. But yeah, you can have a lot of fun with these and make them in all different patterns. If you'd like to see the single one that I made last night, be sure to check it out over on my Facebook page, Lori Staley, Addicted Stamper. I'm sorry, Lori Staley Stampin' Up Demonstrator over there. And you'll see the one we made. Last night's was a Christmas one, and it was just a single accordion Z-fold. But I hope you try that. If you do, as I said, please leave me a comment or leave me a comment to let me know where you're watching from. I think it's fun to see how far the videos travel. And if you haven't already subscribed, please do so. I'm working my way to 1,000 so I can do live videos with you, and I'd appreciate your support. And if you want to be notified when additional videos go up, make sure you subscribe and ring the bell as well, and then you'll get notification when I put a new video up. Thanks so much, folks. Enjoy your week, and I will see you next Monday for another Make It Monday. Thanks. Bye.